Alright guys, so I received this notification on my phone, and if you're subscribed to Honkai Impact 3 on WeChat, you'll get notifications on updates as well. So I usually ignore them because news from the beta tests and new content usually travels fast, but as I was swiping this message off my phone, the headline caught my attention. And what it says here is 全新玩法后崩坏书. Whoops. Yeah. So what that means is all new way to play. That's basically what it means if you translate it literally. And this one means after Honkai book. So it basically means it's a new chapter or something. So I did an English translation. If there is already an official English version released by MiHoYo, please share the link in the comments, because the last time I did a video on the Genshin Impact newsletter, someone in the comments told me that there was already an English translation on their Facebook page. So, well, even if they do have one right now, I'm just gonna roll with the one that I did. So anyway, we're just gonna shift this to the side and add the translations on the right. Since I already did a translation, I'm not gonna read it word for word. Basically, what we have here is a 1-minute summary. It lists down everything we're gonna see. So it's all gonna be elaborated down below. But it's basically, you know, new plot, new maps, new characters, design, and gameplay. And I'm super excited about the gameplay. So the first thing we're gonna look at is, of course, you know, they're just setting us up for like the new plot. This is 8 years after the Honkai has left the Earth. So apparently the third Honkai Impact was avoided, and it did not reset the Earth. If you're not too familiar with the Honkai Impact story, it's basically about the Honkai coming out and saying, you know, humanity is polluting the Earth, you know, kind of like what we have in real world situations. And so they come out to say that, you know, enough is enough and we're gonna reset you. And so that's what the Hershas are for. That they're sent out by the Honkai, and the 14th Hersha has all the powers of all Hershas combined, and she can basically reset the world. And so throughout Honkai Impact 3, that is what they're trying to prevent, and that's why they fight with the Honkai. So, yeah, that's just the gist of it. It's not entirely accurate, but you get the point. So in this scenario, the Shixel is still around for some reason, and they are now a charitable organization helping cities get back on their feet to recover from, you know, what happened during the Honkai War. But it's never that simple, right? But before we go into what they're talking about in the plot, as there's not a lot anyway, let's have a look at the new scenery that they're showing us. It looks amazing, and I have no idea how phones are gonna handle this. I probably would have to get a new phone, I think. But yeah, you might want to consider playing it on your PC, because these are super amazing. But I do have faith in MiHoYo. I mean, they're always emphasizing on the fact that they want to provide top-of-the-line gameplay without having to have top-of-the-line equipment. And I believe that their team is capable of doing that. But of course, there are gonna be limitations to how far you can push an old device. So that'll be a really interesting thing to see. But like I said, I do have faith in their development team, and we'll see in the near future. But anyway, let's move on. So this is Saint Fontaine. I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's the French word for fountain, right? And so after the Honkai, you know, the cities started recovering, and this one recovered at an astonishing rate, and, you know, they nicknamed it the City of Rebirth and Golden Fountainhead. And I went with that translation because, well, otherwise there's not going to be the word fountain in any of their descriptions, so then the name wouldn't sound as cool as it sounds. I don't know. But it is located in Africa along Lion's Head, and that is, it's not a real lion's head, okay? It's a place in Africa. It is in the real world. It's near the Cape of Good Hope. It's a really beautiful place. I've never been there, but I've had friends go there, and they've showed me pictures of it. Apparently you can go for like a hike and stuff like that. Maybe I'll go there someday, but yeah. The point of it is that it is actually a real place, and it's not a real lion's head. And of course, things are never that simple. So this city, or rather this seaside town, has some secrets. Of course. Not complaining, but they might still have something to do with the Honkai. I don't believe it's like 100% eradicated from the earth. But let's keep going. So, we are introduced to our new characters. First off, we have this guy, and they don't give us a name, but he is a teenager enrolled in the new Saint Freya Academy, and he's assigned to May's team. And they do put a message here saying that he is not the captain. So if you guys spot that this is a visual representation of what we are supposed to be in the story, this is absolutely not. Okay, and moving on, we have Raiden Mei, of course, the former 3rd Hyasha and currently the 3rd squad leader of the Shixel's anti-Honkai squad. Unit, whatever. So it says here that she's waiting for a reunion. There's no plural in Mandarin, but I think this is just supposed to mean with an important person. It could mean with important people, but from what I hear, it should just be one person. No confirmation on that, we'll have to see. So if that's the case, it probably means that, all the other Valkyries that we see now got separated at some point in time. And so when the supposed current Honkai war ends, they're not together, and maybe some of them are. Like, I suppose if the Shixel isn't under Otto at this point in time, it should be under someone like Theresa, because she's really in the position to be taking over everything. And so, maybe we'll still have key characters like Theresa. I don't know if, like, Branya and all that will be around, but if Branya's around, she'll be like, what, 22? That'll be really interesting to see. They did a really good job with Mei here. She really does look like more mature, and the way she dresses and everything looks really cool. And I really like what they did with like still retaining the color scheme from Striker Fulminata. She really still feels that way. Yet if you see her playstyle, which is shown a little down below, it is totally different, and I really love it. But anyway, moving on to the next character, it is Carol Pepper. That is the I do think that is the exact name that they'll be using in the English version. And she is a student in New Saint Freya Academy and a member of the Shixel's anti-Honkai squad. They do not say if she is under Mei, but, well, I guess we can just assume. Maybe she's like from a different squad and you meet her halfway through the story. But yeah, so that's basically it for the new characters. So moving on to the gameplay, the combat is really going to be a lot different. So from here, you can only see, her running through the stage. This is Mei in the stage, and it's supposed to be an entire open world. I'm not sure how it will work, because, I'm not too sure if a phone can keep up with, like, loading such a big map, but I'm sure MiHoYo has a way to do it. So yeah, we can now jump around. That is something you don't see in mobile games, I guess because mobile game developers never really put the effort to make that happen. And finally, we get to see it in Honkai Impact, and we also get to see the dynamic environment, and it's really, really cool. I think we do have some aspects of these in the current Honkai Impact 3 that we have right now, but it's basically like opening doors and the elevator function that we have like in some raids, and they've done a really good job with that, but this is like, they're taking it to the next level. So I'm really excited to see how it works out, and we move on to the dynamic lighting, which is basically the surroundings lighting up as Mei slashes the enemy. And it's nice that they're adding all these aspects to the game. They're really subtle, and sometimes we take it for granted that a lot of games nowadays have these, but mobile games typically do not. Also, there's the destructible environment, so stuff like that really add to the immersive experience, because right now, even though they've done a good job with like the open worlds for the Yai village and the Shixel base, there's still a lot of limitations to how far they can make the maps interactive. And for the most part, we've just been given like that active button. Like when you're running around the Shixel world, you can activate Aichan's stuff. And then once you get her to level 20, everything's automated, so you don't really even use that at all. But adding elements like that to the game allows us to not rely on like that interaction button. We can actually interact with the map by ourselves, And that really brings the game one step forward. So I'm super excited about all the stuff that they've mentioned so far, but we are now moving on to the most exciting part about the article, combat. With our newfound ability to jump, we can now do aerial combos. How cool is that? So one of the reasons I started doing videos for Honkai Impact was because everyone was saying that it's a waifu simulator, and there's just so much of the gameplay that they're missing out on if that's all they see it for. So, I just wanted to emphasize on the gameplay, and through that, I started doing overview videos and stuff like that. But I realized that the game isn't really a viewable game, if you get what I mean. I've never done streams because it's a lot of retrying the bosses, trying to get a good score, and you just do the stage for like 3 seconds and you screwed up and you have to restart. So that makes it really hard to relate to a general audience. They generally will not understand what you're seeing, and they'll just go like, wow, why did the boss die so quickly? Is that normal? Is the game too easy? Maybe that's what people might think. But behind the scenes, there is actually a lot to learn. And I guess a lot of people don't understand that. Some people think it's the difference between their gear, and they think that, oh, if you give me the best gear, I can do the same thing as well. And if you think that way, well, you just have to look at the tournaments. The players there are all like the top tier players, yet there's a difference in their score. And they're given all standard equipment and standard Valkyries, yet their scoring is different, and that says a lot about the game. But, like I said, in terms of having a general audience, they probably wouldn't even understand that, because there's a lot of planning behind the scenes that they don't see. And when you just look at execution, you're only looking at half of the player's skill, and, you don't really see the entire player's skill for what it is. But if you have stuff like a ground combo, then you launch enemies and do an aerial combo, and then you follow up the combo with like your teammates and stuff like that, that is difficulty that players can see, or a general audience can see. And then we have this, Mei pushing an enemy off the cliff. That is wild. I simply love that. I don't know why, but there's something satisfying about pushing enemies off cliffs. I don't know. I might be psychotic, but man, give me more of that. Okay, so moving on, we have QTEs, but not the usual QTEs that we have. If you notice, Mei is still on the screen and she is still attacking the enemy while the question mark man switches in and charges his attack. So it's a synchronized attack. It is insane. I love it. Like, we already thought that jumping is going to open up so much more to gameplay, and then we have this. I think there is like a triple QTE, or maybe not. Like, there's a double and then double, but you'll involve like everyone in your team. Yeah, the one at the bottom. So this is insane. Also, aerial QTE. Oh, I think you're showing the aerial QTE. Oh yeah, the one in the middle right now. We have question mark man switching to Raiden Mei, and then she's switching back to question mark man, and then he's switching to Carol Pepper, and she's bouncing the enemy like a basketball. Like, that is making full use of the new dimension, and it is insane. I love that they understand what they can do, and they're just going all out to do it. This is wild, man. And we're here at the end of the article, so it's really exciting. I mean, I don't know what to think of it, aside from just being super excited like a kid. This is a whole new game, and we get to experience everything for free, right? It's just a DLC, from what people are calling it. So all we have to do is wait for the update, and then we download it and get to play. We don't even have to pull for characters, because we can get them in the story. Now, will they monetize this version of the game? I'm pretty sure they will at some point in time, but hey, you could still play as an F2P. So 2020 is gonna be an extremely exciting year for MiHoYo's games, because they're gonna have this, they're gonna have Genshin Impact, and they're still gonna have updates for Honkai Impact 3. But what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also share your thoughts on what you think of a playable male character, and I'll leave the link for the article in the description. So as always, thank you for watching. This has been MG, and I will see you guys soon.